semi-final requirement for P.ED1, the child and adolescent learner. In week 1, human development, meaning, concept, and approaches. Human development refers to the physical, cognitive, and psychosocial development of humans throughout the lifespan. There are two approaches of human development, such as traditional and lifespan approach. Traditional approach change from birth to adolescence, little or no change in adulthood, and decline in late old age. Meanwhile, lifespan approach, even in adult adult development, change takes place as it does during childhood. Week 2, the stages of development and developmental tasks. There are 8 stages of developmental tasks, such as prenatal period. It involves tremendous growth from single cell to an organism, complete with brain and behavioral capabilities. Infancy. It is a time of extreme dependence on adults. Third, early childhood. Preschool years and young children learn to become more self-sufficient and to care for themselves. Fourth, the middle and late childhood. Skills skills of reading, writing, and arithmetic are mastered. The child formally exposed to the larger world as its culture. Fifth, the adolescence begins with rapid physical change, dramatic gains in height and weight, changes in body contour, and the development of sexual characteristics. Sixth, the early adulthood. It is a time of establishing personal and economical independence, career development, selecting mate, learning to live with someone in an intimate way, starting a family with a rearing child. 7. The middle adulthood. It is a time of expanding personal and social involvement and social and responsibility of assessing the next generation and becoming competent and mature individuals. 8. The late adulthood. It is a time for adjustment to decreasing strength and health. Life review, retirement, and adjustment to new social roles. Teachers as consumers and users of research, teachers as researchers, the scientific methods, research design, and data gathering. Teachers to come up with the informed decisions on what to teach and how to teach. This involves decisions related to educational policies, curriculum, effective teaching learning process, and even those involving research too. Data gathering techniques such as observation, psychosocial measures, standardized interviews and questionnaires, life's history records. In week 4, Simon Freud's psychosexual theory. Psychosexual stages because each stage represents the fixation of libido on a different area of the body. Psychosexual stages of development such as oral stage, anal stage, phallic stage, latency stage, and lastly the genital stage. In week 5, Pia gets stages of cognitive development. The basic cognitive concept such as schema, assimilation, accommodation, and equilibration. It's focused on how individuals construct knowledge. Stage 1, the sensory motor stage. Stage 2, the pre-operational stage. Stage 3, concrete operational stage. And lastly, the stage 4, formal operational stage. In week 6, Erickson's psychosocial theory of development. A central conflict or psychosocial crisis must be faced and new skills acquired in the process. The abler an individual is to resolve the crisis successfully, the more likely he or she is to experience healthy development in the future. Number 1, trust versus mistrust, autonomy versus shame, initiative versus guilt, industry versus inferiority, and identity versus role confusion, intimacy versus isolation. Number 7, the generativity and stagnation. Number 8 is the integrity versus despair. In week 7 tackles about the Culbert's theory of moral development. Culbert's believed that the moral development depended on moral reasoning and was learned in the three levels, and each having three stages, such as pre-conventional morality, conventional morality, and the post-conventional morality. Week 8 tackles about the Vygotsky's sociocultural theory. Scaffolding is the term for the appropriate assistance given by the teachers to assist the learner accomplish a task. For Vygotsky, social interaction contributed to the cognitive development of individuals. Cultural plays a big role for the cognitive development as it allows humans to gain experience from cultural traditions and activities. Age is a tool to obtain knowledge, also helps to share information that others don't know. Zone of proximal development is a child's opportunity to acquire knowledge with assistance. Week 9 tackles about the Brenner's ecological theory. Structure of environment takes theory tackles about the multi-stage of environment that can affect the child's development. Microsystem is the system closest to the person and the one in which he has direct contact. The mesosystem, these layers serves as the connection between the structures of the child microsystem. Exosystem, it includes the larger community that a child has no direct contact with but have influence to the child's microsystem. Week 10 tackles about the prenatal period, starts with fertilization in the germinal stage of embryonic development and continues in the fetal development until birth. The stages of prenatal development such as germinal period, embryonic period, fetal period, teratology and hazard to prenatal development, prescription and non-prescription drugs, psychoactive drugs, environmental hazards, maternal factors, and the paternal factors. Week 11 tackles about the physical development of infants and toddlers. Development process before the birth. Infancy and toddlerhood span the first 2 years of life. Between birth 1 year of age, babies grow and develop an astounding rate. They learn to smile, roll over, sit up, wave, clap, pick objects, crawl, bubble, and some may even start saying few words. Cephalocaudal trend, proximal distal trend, height and weight, brain development, motor development. Week 12 tackles about the cognitive development of infants and toddlers. A child also develops cognitively and unlike physical development that can be observed easily. Cognitive development can be checked by careful observation. The sensomotor development, object permanence, language development, and learning and remembering. Week 13 tackles about the socio-emotional development of infants and toddlers. For infants and toddlers unfolds in an interpersonal context, namely that of positive ongoing relationships with familiar nurturing adults. Emotions and emotional expression. Infants and toddlers learn about emotions and the expressions of the emotions through their interactions with others. Play and friendship skills. Possible ways to encourage the development of play and friendship skills. Week 14 tackles about the preschoolers' physical development. It focuses on gross and fine motor skills, artistic expression, proper nutrition and sleep, and what
teachers and caregivers should do to maximize the preschooler's development. Also, preschoolers have the passion and interest in drawing. They develop it with the use of motor skills and continuous practice. They are able to acquire better motor skills from scribbling, being able to use presentations until they are able to make it clear. Lastly, week 15, the cognitive development of the preschoolers. Preschool children show the progress in their cognitive abilities by being able to draw objects that are not present by their dramatic increase in their language and make-believe play. Vygotsky believed that young children use language both to communicate socially and to plan, guide, and monitor their behavior in a self-regulatory fashion called inner speech or private speech. That would be all. Thank you.